Libra, welcome to your mid-February 2022 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. Probably, I wish I... Oh my gosh, all right. It's all good. Oh, I love this card because of the colors. That's one of the nice things about this deck. I'm going to pick an additional card. Let's see. Okay, we'll put that here. And yeah, you know, a card like Nine of Swords, I don't want to end the reading like that because it's not just, oh, that's a negative card. It's also because it doesn't feel like a resolution. It feels like describing some kind of a problem, and you want to have that sense of closure. So that's why I do that. So the heart of the matter is the Five of Swords. And I notice in this deck, which is called the Light Seers Tarot deck, that they use crows with the swords. Now you're swords because you're air sign, an air sign. And I think that it's kind of like the negative thoughts or the negative entities that are kind of immaterial and are, you know, floating around influencing people in a negative way. And it comes to thought forms. Five of Swords in particular can be about, oh, it's interesting. I don't know that I wish, you know what I wish tarot decks would do is like, you know, they have a booklet that comes with, you know, just about every tarot deck I've ever bought. And they'll give you the definition of the card, but it's kind of that universal definition that would be true of any deck. I'd like them to explain their own symbolism. Because here you have a little man in the background, and it's kind of like this, just a dark figure. And I think it's like the shadow self. But actually, it's not, to me, and the Five of Swords wouldn't be the shadow self, because this isn't really about you. This is about somebody else. So it could be like an enemy. This is a card of, it could be someone who's talking smack about you, okay? And actually, the Five of Swords can involve other people as well. So if this is in the office place, gossiping about you, or maybe like if it's an ex, a narcissistic ex who's, you know, smearing you, the narcissistic smear, they call it. And if you are dealing with an ex who you suspect is a narcissist, and you don't know about the narcissistic smear, go on YouTube, and they have videos, you know, just type in that term. And they tell you how to deal with it, because a lot of times people don't handle it correctly. And you can either just allow yourself to be, you know, dragged through the mud, which I don't think is fair or, you know, appropriate. But you can also, some people go on the offensive and they kind of get sucked into some fight with that person. And then they start flinging the mud themselves. You know, that would be a temptation. I was going to say, if you're a Leo and you have like the moon in Scorpio, you have Mercury in Scorpio, you might have that side to yourself. It's like, oh yeah, you know, that person's going to lie on me. Well, guess what? I'm going to what do they call that? Air that person's dirty laundry and that kind of thing. So you don't want to get sucked into those kinds of, if you want to call them games or whatever you want to say, because that person, they may be absolutely trying to get you to lower yourself that way. But that doesn't mean you have to just sit there, and if somebody comes to you and says, oh yeah, I heard that, you know, this happened, and you are either silent or you don't defend yourself. But it's not so much defending yourself as setting the record straight. That's a different story. So anyway, the five of Swords can be a situation where you're being slandered in some way. Maybe it's, in the current workplace situation. In the past position is the Hangman. So some kind of a waiting game or some kind of a situation may have transpired where you felt like you could not make a move about something. You know what it could be? The first thing that comes to mind is if you're involved with a person who is married or committed to somebody else, or, in name only, obviously, if they're cheating, and maybe they're telling you one thing and they're telling that person another thing. Because the Five of Swords can just be deception itself. And with the Hangman, I always think of somebody who is kind of waiting, and they're not getting anywhere. And they're not being told the truth, so it's no surprise that they're dealing with this situation. So another thing is, like in the workplace, if you were promised a promotion or something along those lines, and you're being kind of gaslight, or not gaslighted, but what's that term that means, like, you're given you're being jerked around. I think that's what I meant to say. And you just always are getting these empty promises and you believe them, but it just nothing is ever happening. Could be because there's all this kind of back stuff happening. The higher message is the Magician, and this is about you co-creating your reality. In other words, rather than waiting for somebody else, you take the initiative, which as a cardinal sign, Libra, you are very good at when you want to, when you can make up your mind about what you want to do, and you decide to create something that is yours and yours alone, so that you are not dependent on other people. And in terms of any kind of relationship issue, the Magician card would be somebody who is self-directed, because it's very frustrating to get in a dynamic with somebody where they are calling the shots, where it's like you're, with the Hangman, where you're kind of having to wait on somebody else. That I know for me, that would feel so powerless. So it's really about self-empowerment by you creating what you want in your life. That's what magic to me truly is about, is believing that everything isn't just happening to you, but you can go for what you want. And some people, they take everything way to take things to the extreme, and they think I can control everything or I can't control anything. I don't think either one of those is true. I think the truth is somewhere in between. But people are not willing to understand this, and they are, they will have the tendency to think either that they're powerless or that they're all, powerful. And you have to get into that sweet spot where you're able to let go of what you can't control, and then, do all you can to control. What crosses you is the King of Cups. In some cases, this could be that person that you're dealing with. So if it's a water sign, this guy has a pendant that has a fish on it. So I don't know if this is supposed to be connected to Pisces, but the three water signs are Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. And Cancer is a sign that Libra tends to be attracted to, because you're both cardinal signs. But there's that irritating factor with those signs, because they square each other. But anyway, this guy could be very, like I said, narcissistic, because I think of kings associated with narcissism, especially if I have this challenge position card. They could be manipulative in a big way. They might be addicted, and they might, and when I say manipulative, they might guilt you into something. And you can feel that sense of, obligation because they're playing with your emotions. And you may want to get away from this person, but they may try to have their cake and eat it too with something. Maybe they can lay on the charm when they want because they have that understanding of human psychology, but they use it as a weapon. What is coming in is the Three of Cups. This is a card of celebration, but it's also, to me, a card of just socializing. So if you have, I find it interesting that they have these women. I think it's double feminine energy. I don't know if the number 3 is feminine. I'm not sure if there are, male and female energies assigned with numbers. I assume that there are. But in any case, I mean, this can be both genders, but, just giving an example, if you're a woman and this guy is, problematic, seeking your friends, the support of your friends can help you to break away from such a person. And those types of people, they may have already not liked him. And maybe they told you and you pulled away from your friends because you were, thinking things like, oh, they must be jealous. They don't have a man. And so they're jealous of me. Or if you didn't share with them your problems because you didn't want them to say anything, you might feel now that you don't care anymore and you're going to seek their support. And they can be a support system for you. This can also indicate that you're lightening your mood, that you're ready to, disentangle yourself from a relationship. If this is a boss, I don't think I mentioned the King of Cups being a boss. This person may try to manipulate you to keep you hanging on. You know what I mean? And that can keep you stuck in place. And the Three of Cups can be like, making use of those friendships that you've cultivated, because a lot of Libra people are socialites, social butterflies. And you can say, hey, do you have a job or do you have a business that, you need somebody to help you? And you can break free from this person's manipulation, guilting you to stay when it's not serving you. And this was the card that I got that I picked an additional card, the Nine of Swords. This is a card of anxiety. And you see those black birds, and then you have that white bird. Now, black can be associated with, negative thoughts. Nine of Swords. Swords are thoughts. And this is a card in the other decks. They talk about anxiety. Well, what is anxiety? It's thoughts. It's thoughts of fear-based nature. And the one white bird could be like, it's kind of like the Five of Cups, where it's like there's a silver lining or there's something good, and you're focused on the negative instead of the positive. So if you're in this situation, a lot of your fears or your anxieties may be about how, first of all, it might be because you're being manipulated by somebody into feeling a certain way that really you have no reason to feel that way, that you're obligated to somebody, that you should feel guilty for thinking of yourself, that you're being selfish or something like that. And you don't have to buy into that. You can choose to override it with positive affirmations and other types of healing practices that can rewire your brain or counter the conditioning that you have been given that has led you to automatically go into that. Because I have found, and of course, you know, it's taken me quite a few years, but it's better late than never, that I don't have to automatically go into certain feelings because of what somebody else does or says or does. You know what I mean? And it's almost like you feel programmed, like, oh yeah, I have to feel upset because somebody said something to me, even though I think it was unfair what they said. I'm supposed to feel upset. That's my job. And you can, like, it's not spiritual bypassing to say, that's not mine. That's somebody else's projection onto me. And I'm talking about when it isn't yours. If you, you know, have done something that you shouldn't have done, then yeah, you can fess up. You can, you know, humble yourself and apologize for it. But if you feel like somebody else is just dumping on you and, you know, treating you like trash, you don't have to react to that. You can choose to rise above that. And then the clarification card, Page of Pentacles. This can be some message about money or work, or, you know, or a new job. With the Magician, you might even be coming up with ideas for your own business. You might hear a message that is of a practical nature, and you definitely can start something in the, you know, upcoming months that can lead to you feeling more independent, because it feels with the Hangman that you are being kept hanging by, you know, somebody else. And maybe they want, you know, the King of Cups, maybe this is an ex who came back during the Venus retrograde, and you kind of were excited that they came back, and now you realize that they're just trying to jerk you around. And so you have to be the one to extricate yourself. Maybe with the Nine of Swords, you feel like this sense of oppression. And it's really your own perception of what is going on. You might be thinking you might be having too much, giving it too much power in your life. And you have to take back that power. Okay, that's what I have for you, Libra. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a personal reading, I'm primarily an astrologer, but I do tarot readings as well, obviously. That's why you're watching this. So you can find out more information about my services if you'd like a private reading at the link below. I'm at RainaMoonAstrology.com. Take care. Bye.